Hard Feelings, released in 2023, and is what you would say to someone like if you wanted to get back at them. So you suggested, hey, why don't you go see this movie? No hard feelings. And this movie is directed by Gene Stupinski, who's also directed the movie Good Boys. Good for him. And this movie is starring Jennifer Lawrence, who's really funny. Like, she's got comedic chops, guys. Also starring Andrew Barth Feldman, Laura Benanti, Natalie Morales, and Matthew Broderick. Maddie Barker is a 32-year-old Uber driver that has just had her car repossessed because she hasn't been paying the taxes on her house that she owns outright because it was her mother's and her mother passed away, and boo-hoo for her, she wants to keep it. And apparently she's exhausted all other options to gain money over the summer, so she decides to answer an ad placed by a couple of parents looking for a young lady who is willing to date their son for the summer before she goes off to college. So she spends the rest of the summer trying to get into this little boy's pants so that he can gain confidence in himself, but so she can also get some money and get a car from these rich people who are willing to give it to her. Excuse me one moment while I cleanse myself after reading that plot synopsis. I was wondering when I was going to see it. I was wondering when I was going to see the worst movie that has come out in 2023. I'd been enjoying my time at the movies, watching all the new releases. Majority of them have been great. They've been entertaining. Some of them have hit me emotionally all throughout this year. But then I watched this piece of shit, and kudos to you, No Hard Feelings. You got it. You won, right? You're at the top of the list of the worst movies of this year. My God. And I'm not going to blame the actors for the majority of this because they're just doing what they're given. They're reading the script, right? They're acting out the story. They're acting out the plot that someone wrote down on paper and some studio head said, yup, that's hilarious. We're moving forward with this. Gene Stupinski wrote this movie with John Phillips. You two should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. This is the dumbest concept. This is the dumbest plot I have ever seen. So many freaking plot holes, not to mention that the main core, the main meat of this story, it just doesn't make sense. How did you think these characters were going to be redeemable and lovable characters? Maddie is willing to lead this poor little kid on because apparently he's a shut-in. He likes playing video games. He plays piano a lot. He's a brilliant genius. He's a brilliant scientist who likes reading books, but he's socially awkward. And these parents are like, oh, I don't know, my kid is not going to survive in college if he hasn't had sex before he goes, and he's never kissed a girl before. He's not gonna survive. So you hire just a random person, not like a professional sex worker, but just a random person to come in, and you want her to feign dating your son so that he could lose his virginity to go to college and be a great person. Did you hear that? Did you just hear those words come out of my mouth? I just heard those words. And I can't believe I just fucking said those. First off, you know exactly how this movie's gonna play out. She's gonna take on this job, and at first it's gonna be all business, but then she's gonna realize that, oh, he's kind of a cool person. And he's gonna realize, like, well, there is more to life outside of video games and books and chatting with people online. I don't know why he sounds like Kermit the Frog, but that's just the voice that came to mind in that moment, and I'm gonna go with it. So eventually they're gonna start developing real feelings towards each other. Then he's gonna find out and everything's gonna go haywire, but then she's gonna realize, like, no, all of this stuff, I actually found out I really love him, and I'm gonna grow as a person, and I wanna be with him. So the plot's predictable as all fuck, but then you look at the plot and you go like, why would you make that? This is just so fucking dumb. First off, this little boy who's this shut-in who volunteers at a dog shelter, which is freaking awesome. He's also freaking intelligent. He has a very clean room. He doesn't do anything illegal. He's actually a fine, upstanding gentleman. When he's talking with Maddie, sounds like he's actually okay with talking with people socially. He's actually funny. He's actually kind of charming. Then to find out he's actually willing to sing a song in the middle of a restaurant, even though it took a little coaxing for him to kind of break out of his shell and perform. they've only been dating for a couple of days, but he finally got that confidence to perform a song in front of everyone in the restaurant. I mean, just kudos to Maddie. My God, she's a brilliant psychologist and brilliant therapist. And speaking of therapists, gosh, you think that these parents who are overprotective, I mean, let's be honest, these parents are absolutely ridiculous. They're monitoring their son the entire time, where he's going, they're watching his phone, they're just constantly looking after him because he needs to go to Princeton to make more money for this family when we have a lot of money. Why haven't you put this kid in therapy? If you are so worried about this kid's social aspects, which in the grand scheme of everything is actually not that important. What he's doing by himself is actually really freaking cool. But if you're so worried about his social anxiety and him meeting people and talking to people, then why don't you sit him down with a therapist so that they can uncover what's going on there and help build up his confidence professionally, as opposed to this person who is trying to do this for financial gain and has no training in that aspect at all. Now, this whole movie is marketed around Jennifer Lawrence, and I'm almost certain that maybe this movie wouldn't have gotten made if Jennifer Lawrence said, no, I don't want to do this, but she signed on, so of course we're putting her front and center of this frickin' movie poster, and gosh, she's just so funny, right? She improvises so many great, funny lines. This is a comedy, right? I chuckled once. There was one moment where she was giving him a lap dance, and he was acting all weird because, again, he's a virgin, doesn't know what to do, so she flips the switch. So she sits down and makes him start doing the lap dance, and he doesn't know what to do, so he kind of just sits on her lap, and she bounces him like a little baby boy. That was funny. I giggled. I chuckled. And then all the one-line zingers that Natalie Morales had in this film. She was the best part. She was my favorite character of this film because she had all of her shit together, basically. Those were the only things of this movie that I liked, that I enjoyed, that made me giggle a little bit. Jennifer Lawrence, not funny. There was a nude fight scene on the beach at night, which I think was more surprising than funny, actually. It just kind of came out of nowhere, and like, oh, there's Jennifer Lawrence fighting in the nude. Ha 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 ha. This was one of those movies where I had to stop it like every 5 minutes just to regain my composure and then carry on and try to finish this movie. But just to take in the stupidity that I saw in that 5 minutes, hit pause, like, okay, breathe, take a drink. Okay, let's keep going. And then, oh, no, more idiot things happening in this movie. Okay, let's try again. And I feel like this stemmed from me watching the trailer, because I remember people praising the trailer and praising the previews for this movie. Oh my god, it looks so funny. Jennifer Lawrence is back and she's so hilarious. And I watched the trailer and I thought there's nothing in that trailer that was funny at all, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I want to see this movie this year to see if I'm surprised. When I go into a movie, I don't want to hate the frickin' thing. I want to be entertained. I want to have fun. I love movies. I love going to watch movies. So when I say that I absolutely hated a movie and nothing about it entertained me, please know it's not coming from a preconceived bias that I had towards this movie, just wanting to hate it. No, I wanted to love this thing. I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but as this movie just kept going on and on and on, it just, my suspicions were confirmed. Like, this was not good. This wasn't funny. This was stupid. Who greenlit this fucking thing? And then I see critics saying, like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence has great comedic timing. We should put her in a whole bunch of other comedy films. She's great. She's funny. No. No Hard Feelings is by far the worst movie of 2023, so spoilers for my end of the year ranking video. But you need to know this. This movie is not good. You should not see it. And I know I'm late to the game. I'm trying to go back and watch films that I've missed this year to have a nice, well-rounded ranking list at the end of this year in December. But I guess if you're a late bloomer like me, just know that you shouldn't watch this movie. Just don't. There's nothing good about it. Nothing. There's nothing good. Stop. No. I'm gonna give No Hard Feelings half a fucking Blu-ray. No. So guys, if you've seen No Hard Feelings, what did you think about it? Am I wrong? Like, did I miss something here? Is this movie actually really great? Whatever you thought about this movie, please comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.